Ooh,
I know you are. You look like you're nervous.
I was trying to get in early. They wanted, they're gonna do it in November. Homecoming. Oh, Arizona.
Road trip.
They left yesterday.
Road trip. Town of Kentwood Council meeting has been called to order for October 6, 2022. We'll have prayer by Councilman Diamond, pledged by Councilman Hookman. Please stand.
Let's bow our head for a word of prayer. God our Father, we come now, God, just to say thank you. Oh God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for allowing us to assemble here again tonight to take care of the business of the town. Oh God, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to come and dwell in unity. Oh God, we thank you because without you, none of this will be possible. We pray that everything be done tonight in decent and in order, and all decisions that we make be for the betterment of our town and the citizens of Kentwood. We thank you. We give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. All God's church say amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Cookfin.
Here.
Cooper.
Present.
Diamond.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Winters. The public is invited to have public input on agenda items, 2 minutes per agenda item. Must be recognized by the chair before speaking. Item number 1, approve minutes of last month's meeting. I failed to email those to you all, so Mayor, can we postpone that? Okay. Item number 2, set Halloween trick-or-treat date and time.
I think the 31st is on Monday. She is now here, so time is probably what we need to really set for that particular event. Any ideas?
5 to 7, 6 to 8.
Let me see if the chief is in his office.
I know his truck is right over there at the firehouse.
Jason, would you see if the chief is in his office, please?
And what has it been, Mayor Rich?
The time frame? I want to say 6 to 8 most of the time. Yeah, 6 to 8.
And just for safety issues, Mayor, I just think we should go 5 to 7. Move it up an hour. That's my suggestion.
On that Monday or what?
Halloween is on Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
I agree with that too, but any input from the people.
And to see how many officers chief have and all that. So I mean, hey.
He's coming.
Okay.
You said 5 to 7.
Or 6 to 8, yeah.
Which one?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Chief, we're looking at time frame for Halloween trick or treat. One suggestion.
Halloween falls on Monday, I believe. That's a school night. I think we typically do it 5 to 7, 5 to 8. But
Okay.
it being a school night, I would like it no later than 8 o'clock.
What about 5 to 7, Chief?
That's fine with me.
So you gonna make a motion for that? So
I make a motion that Halloween hours be 5 to 7, Monday, October the 31st, 2022.
Been moved by Councilman Hookfin and seconded by Councilwoman Winters to approve a time of 5 to 7 on October 31st for Halloween. Any questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, so time will be from 5 to 7, October 31st.
Item number 3, approve cemetery plot for purchase, Albert DeRazio Jr., 403 Avenue H, Kentwood, Louisiana, Section C, Plot 17.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Callahan, seconded by Councilman Cooper to approve the cemetery plot for Albert DeRazio Jr. Any questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, Antoinette Harrell, update on grass clippings.
Ms. Harrell?
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank you, Mayor Baby Center. You do have my condolences for the loss of your mother.
Thank you.
And I want to thank the town, and also thank the councilman for making a wise decision, a decision that is safe for everyone, and decides to keep our streets clean. So I want to thank you all for moving forward to reach a resolution. And I have contacted all of the agencies that I would contact and inform them that the resolution has been reached by the mayor and the town of Kentwood. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Item number 5, adopt resolution to change traffic hours on Elton Shaw Lane.
We need a motion for that.
Yes.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hookfin, seconded by Councilman Callahan to adopt a change in hours for traffic on Elton Shaw Lane. Councilman Hookfin, you want to talk to us about that? I know you and Chief had talked about it.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, again. For those of you that don't know, we want to change the hours during school hours only, from 7 to 9 in the morning, from the stop sign on Elton by the post office all the way to the red light, and 2 to 4. We're going to make that a one-way because of the traffic and congestion right there, and children trying to get in and out of school, the drop off and all that good stuff. So from 7 to 9 and 2 to 4, a one-way. Any questions?
Councilor Finn, so when are y'all starting the one way? When will it start? Get with Chief?
Get with Chief, the mayor. Hopefully we can start that Monday, Mayor. Or
We'll get the signs.
get the signs. Once we get the signs first. Yeah.
What about the parking, the cars? Some park this way, you know. they
That's
ain't
why.
parking.
That's why we trying to stop all that. We want to have all the cars facing going toward the red light because, right, going south. Because if you're backing up one car going here, I'm out there every morning at 6:30, and I'm seeing a big accident that's going to happen. Even the trucks that's trying to get to the post office and all that, it's yeah.
You can't hardly meet a big truck in there.
Right.
Ain't nothing.
And then we keeping the gates locked with deliveries and all that, so it's so congested now. So we just want to make that a one way.
Sound good.
You think it's worth it to do a broke up like that instead of just having it all the way all day? I mean, that's really all we need is those times.
Really, that's when all the children, we got them inside, so just for that right now, and if we see that, we get right.
Okay. Any comments from the audience, questions? Next item.
Item number 6, James Robbins to speak about grass clippings in the road and grass cutters occupational license.
Mr. Robbins?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna address this to the council, so I went to the council. Y'all tell us what all to do. Y'all need to do y'all job and get the streets cleaned up. Then you could tell the citizen, the taxpayer who paying y'all salary. Then you could tell me what to do. Cause I don't like that idea, me myself. Cause I cleans a lot of people's yard and y'all got leaves down, lay them down, the grass need cutting, the ditches need cleaning. On a $525 month salary y'all make with Medicaid paying y'all bills too from the taxpayer, our money. This is not y'all town. This town belongs to the people who own property here. We paid y'all salary. And that is my complaint, because I don't like it. I don't know how the other people feel, but this is my dealings. You don't tell me what to do on my land unless you got 100,000. And I can move out in the country like a lot of other people. Kentwood ain't never coming back like it used to be. We had 6 grocery stores in this town. I'm 66 years old. I remember all of those people's names. By their names, the grocery store. Now we got one store here, Sullivan. Smell the meat, you might have to bring it back this hour after you get it. Most of you councilmen don't make groceries here in this town. Cause I know so. I run these streets every day. I'm up and down these streets. Take y'all money, go somewhere else. I don't see you in Sullivan.
Question, Mayor, can I ask you a
Yes.
question? Mr. Robbins, my question to you is, what are we telling you to do? Because the only thing
Well,
I'm
you
aware,
put on
hold
the
up,
back of
excuse,
that light bill.
hold, I don't know what's on back of the light bill.
Well, if I got one, you should have got one. You ain't
I-
got the water bill, I mean.
I don't know what's on back of the water bill. That's why I'm asking the
Well,
question.
Michelle, you give him a copy of it, then you can go from there. The same way they mail all the other citizens, I'm pretty sure got one. They might not complain, but I am. I've been born here, been here all my life. I don't rent, I own my land, and I have a right to speak.
Right.
Here's a
My
copy.
property.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Robbins.
Yes,
Here's a
sir.
copy of the ordinance regarding the grass clipping and the rubbish and all of that. That was we made it, put it on the back of the water bills. Can you get us a copy of that, please? And we sent it out to everyone in the mailing. And that was to address the grass clipping that Ms. Antoinette, to take care of that issue. And that was it. I'm coming, Mr. Hall, and then we're coming to you.
Okay, just to comment on it, I got the bill with the letter on it, and it was great. It was great communication. I didn't see anything on there about the occupational license part, but I was approached by several of the grass cutting people in the community. And I agree with them. We don't have, and if it is, it's something happened since I've been. We have nothing on the book that states that people that cut grass got to have an occupational license. Now we have it if you want to do business with the town, you got to have workman comp license. And I think this is where the confusion is at. Because if I got a lawnmower and I got 4 relatives and I want to go through Kentwood and cut their grass, the town of Kentwood cannot tell me that I need an occupational license to do that. See, we have nothing on the book to govern this, you know, for saying, because once you give a person an occupational license, I'm quite sure you're aware, that opens them up to being able to do a lot of other things. An occupational license, I think, is dealing with a specific address where you're gonna have a business. These grass cutting guys is more or less of a hustle. Now, I agree with the getting the stuff out the road and all of that. I think that part of what was said, and I don't know, I heard it was a letter sent out, I do not know. It was just what was from to me. I think we need to look at that from a legal standpoint, as I say, I'm not aware of anything on the books that said if you cut multiple yards, again, you got to say what constitutes, how many yards that I need cut to say I need an occupational license. We have none of that. So I think that's where the citizen got kind of thrown off on. Again, I didn't see that on the yellow part of the bill. It was brought to my attention. So I think we need to look at the legality of that before you say that the grass cutters need to have an occupational license. And I stand corrected, it may be on.
Right. We will look into it, and in our next meeting, we'll give you a date on it. We'll have, once that we have our town attorney look into that and make sure we're doing the proper thing. Councilman Danny? And then I'll come through.
You know, I also just want to, although he's frustrated, but thank him for being a concerned citizen. Not a lot of people come to speak up, about, what their concerns are. We have a lot of people who just talk from the house, and they kind of never let us know, so I hear you, and there's some things he said that make some sense. A part of that. Now we got to tighten up, period. And Mayor, it's no secret because it just came up at this table numerous times about, you and I have talked, all councilors have talked about the things that need to be picked up around town. And I agree in some sense. If we want to hold our residents accountable, we got to be sure that we're doing our part also as a town to ensure whatever it takes to make these things happen. I'm not a big person about the excuses. So whatever it takes, our citizens, they're pay their taxes here, property tax, etc. We are supposed to use those funds to ensure that their needs are met. And I think as far as the limbs and all these things, we do need to keep the ball rolling and trying to get a consistent process with that. So these things can be, picked up. So I do agree, the citizens should do their part, and we also should do our part because it's a team effort here in this town. So the administration as well as the citizens have to do their part. That's what's going to make Kentwood a much better place. So it is my prayer going forward that the citizens will do better with this grass in the road, and also, Mayor, with the administration and Mr. Russ with the department, that we all come up with something that could be consistent, a very consistent process of ensuring that the limbs and things like that is also picked up. And I also did have some comment on the occupational thing when I came here, but Mr. Mike already kind of gave his kind of similar to mine on that, and you gave me the answer to that. So I just be looking forward to hearing back from you about the legality on that issue. But thank you.
Thank you too.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Robbins, I think just by reading this, because me and you have talked numerous times, I think you will agree with everything on this paper except the occupational license, because you don't want nobody littering, you don't want nobody throwing stuff out, and that's the only thing this is saying. So I do hear your cry, and we will do our best to do our part, and we work together to keep this community clean. That's all we're trying to do, clean it up.
I cut a lot of them up and down the street. When I say them, you can't look up Avenue A on
Yes, sir.
9th Street, 13th and Avenue A. I have took my pruner with my neck with a brace on and pulled the white lady pulled through there. She said, "Mr. We thank you very much." She said, "Could have been a wreck here at night." I said, "Yes, ma'am, thank you," and wave, and she going about her business. I have did my part for the community.
Yes, sir.
And I know that I've been here for many years, right in this total building. Both some of y'all ever were bums.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let's keep it. This is my home.
Right.
I love Kentwood so much. I ain't never left here.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Robbins.
Thank you.
Okay, I think chapter 12 of our code of ordinances might cover the occupational license stuff, but we can look more into that. But the occupational license thing, it varies from town to town, whether or not you need one to do business in them. I'm pretty sure even still, people that cut yards wouldn't necessarily count. They'd be seen more as like independent contractors. There's no real location that their business takes place at, since they go from property to property. So I think that they'd probably be safe from that. But I think his grass clipping thing went back to what Ms. Antoinette's item was about. How many town workers do we have at the moment?
Mr. Russ, how many employees you have with the maintenance department?
How many that are designated to just taking care of like yards, or not yards? I mean any green spaces we have.
We have 2 that take care of that.
Okay, all right. So it probably might take them a while to get to some places since they probably have the cemetery, the park down there, anything that grows up there. Okay, so we could potentially look at maybe getting more personnel in that matter.
Yes, sir. Anything?
I definitely agree with that, Mayor. You know, I've kind of addressed my concerns with that some time ago. I think it's something that we definitely need to look at as far as the personnel issue with the maintenance department. You know, these guys work hard, and but I do think that they can use some extra hands on to ensure that we can tackle all of these issues, and it's not too much on one person. And departmentalizing is something that can be very effective with. And I think we're kind of already doing it, right? We have people responsible for certain areas. Like, okay, that's good. And I think once we get to the point where we can kind of look at the budget and kind of just see, how many workers do we really need to make this thing a success for all of us. Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
gonna take more.
Yeah,
Definitely more than
I
4.
agree.
Mr. Russ just had one to resign here this week, Tuesday. So
Can I address something to Russ?
1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Councilman Cooper, and then I'll come to you.
That's okay.
Okay, one more question. Within the city hall government umbrella, do we have someone that is designated just towards litter issues? Since I know that the yellow paper had a fine on it, is that something for the police department, or is there someone that just does litter?
That would be the police department that would be handling that for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and the constable does he writes tickets also for that.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Russ,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know who the gentleman was. I walked down to City Hall this morning to pay my bills. On my way home, I went down this street over here, and there was a guy that was actually bent over, digging up the, leveling it all up, clearing the sidewalk and thing. And it was backbreaking, and I know he was tired, but he was doing one really good job of cleaning that all off.
Yes, and we edging the sidewalks, we're trying to come.
Yeah, I don't know who he was, but he was really working.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next item.
Item number 7, Councilman Terrell Hookfin to speak about the American Rescue Funds and how it will be used.
Again, thank you, Mayor, for letting me tackle this issue. And the issue is at hand because all the workers, I guess I get the finger pointed at the most, but I never was against any worker from getting any monies that's due to them when you made the proposal of a $3,000 bonus or whatever you want to call it. Now, I was against giving every employee $3,000. I just think that was just too far out of the ballpark. Just totally. So I'm coming to you tonight and the council to see how many number of people that we're trying to give this money to. I do have a number that I want to throw out that we can give each employee so we can clear this up out of the air because seems like it's a big issue. And I know me and Councilman Diamond was the ones that had questions about it, and this was way back in, I think, May meeting. So it never was brought back, so the question, that's why I asked to get on the agenda. So I'm proposing that we give every employee $1,000 to $1,500. And I know Ms. Michelle said it would be prorated. If you was here the duration of the pandemic, you would get the entire amount. If you came in while the pandemic was going on, we'll go that way. So that's what I'm proposing tonight, $1,000 to $1,500.
Before we entertain that, Mr. David Kozan, who was working on the grants for us to get the wastewater and the sewer taken care of, in mid-June, late June, he contacted and said there was another round that was coming up. So we decided to hold off on that until we can be sure if we're gonna be awarded it and need to use those funds to make sure we have our portion of, the money to pay for those points that we were getting.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why we held off on it. Okay?
Everybody, so are we going to, touch on the tabulated amounts in regards to the sewer and water, here? Or are we going to wait until we just discuss it, have a holistic, discussion about the employees and this at the same time?
We can go ahead and talk about that, but as far as the, so to speak, the funds to, pay for the town workers, those who, we're holding off to see if we're gonna be awarded that grant and see if we need to use those funds to make up our portion for paying for those points, but.
Well, I think we should just hold off until we tackle all of it at one time.
Okay, it's totally up to you all.
And also too, you know, I know how this budget thing works, but to hit Mayor, this is just my opinion. But I do think though, and I understand that this is a pressing issue. And so even after we have met, I do think we should keep in mind to structure these funds in such a way that our workers do get something. Because it's not foreign, every municipality have done it. They have received these funds, people have received raises, stipends, however you want to word it. So I do think that along with this, we just gotta be sure that we look out for our workers. You know, they gonna do work hard. And I do also believe that the sewer and water, our system and pump, all this stuff, it is a very pressing issue. So whenever you're ready to meet about it, I think once again, as I asked for before, let's come together and meet about it, hold a special meeting, and so we have it very structured. And my only concern was then, there was just no complete structure. We talked about it, but there was a lot of things in the air about who would get it, and that's why they want to move forward with it until we, have all these things ironed out before we let out. But yeah, I definitely do agree with that. So you just keep us updated on the water and sewer project, and then let us know how we're going to move forward with the remaining funds.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to also go on record, supporting, Councilman Hookman, and give them somewhere between 1,000, 1,500, whatever we can afford, assuming that we're able to. If we're not able to, if we need that money for matching funds, like you said, we have to have our matching fund. We can't lose grant money or anything because we don't have matching funds. It's too important for the town. If possible, I think we should do it.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Councilman Cooper.
Maybe how much did we get from the American Rescue Act and the CARES funds?
900 and something thousand. We just, I think I
some.
put a
was
copy.
40.
Actually, I just checked the bank today and we got the second deposit is pending today of 469,000.
Because I remember they did give it out as dividends or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So
It was
this,
for something, every time it was for, like 490 something,
It is, $451,214.05.
Okay.
That is pending right now for the bank account where we have that money, structured to be.
Just one question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, and I know you said other things is coming up that's gonna play into it. If I understand the American Rescue Plan, now, will this also consist of the employees that was here at that time that moved on?
Yes. Yeah. We had mentioned that the first time.
Yes.
That's what we
Because
come out the program.
My reason for it
pay
is,
somebody that's no longer.
no,
employed.
but
So
they
we'll-
was here doing that part that you got the money.
We'll look into it, Councilman Hall, and see if we can legally do so. Next item.
So wait, would they get like a retroactive bonus?
We'll look into it and see.
Can't do that.
So we'll see.
But we'll meet about it.
Okay.
Mike Cazzaroni to hire Sonia Atkins Brown for part-time dispatch at a pay rate of $9.75.
Mayor and council, audience. Over the past year, I've lost 3 dispatchers. Mr. Carter, who obviously can't dispatch anymore. Stephanie Carter, and as well as Dakota Shaffield. So, and they're all part-time dispatchers. So I have 2 persons that I would like to hire in their place as part-time dispatchers to fill that void we have. As it is now, I'm paying overtime to other dispatchers and other policemen to cover our dispatch services. So, but this will alleviate all that if I get those replaced.
Council members?
I'm good with it. So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hookman, second by Councilman Diamond to approve the hire of Ms. Sonia Atkins Brown as a part-time dispatcher. Any questions?
So how many dispatchers do we currently have then?
6. Not currently. We have 4, 3 full-timers, and we have 2 part-timers. It'd be 8 total. We had 9 at one time.
Okay.
Anything else? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'm gonna abstain.
Tre'Von abstain.
Next item.
Mike Hazarani to hire Rashonda McNeilty for part-time dispatch at a pay rate of $9.75.
Ms. McNeilty's not able to be here tonight. She is sick. So if y'all want to hire her or ratify my recommendation without her being here, that's fine. If not, we can present it next month when she's able to attend the meeting.
Are you good with it?
I'm good with it.
You that's your department.
That's right.
You good with it? So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hookman, second, I think at the same time, by Councilman Diamond and Councilman Callahan to approve the hiring of Ms. McNeilty. Any question? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Abstain.
You got
Just
it.
for everybody's clarification, it's not new hires. This is replacing
Right.
current people that I have already.
And eliminate overtime
That's right.
and working people. Just
Yeah, every day.
right.
Okay. Next item.
Just, excuse me, Mayor, can I say?
Yes.
Because just for clarification, we cover 3 shifts a day, 7 days a week. So that's 21 shifts a week that we cover, right? 7 days a week, 3 days, yeah. So, I mean, and if you do the math, it's kind of stretching my guys thin. Also my overtime budget, so thank y'all again.
Thank you. Next item.
Item number 10, Ronnie Harrell, zoning board president, to give overview of historic preservation information received at zoning board meeting.
Mr. Harrell.
Yes, on September 13th, the Kentwood Historic Preservation Study Group presented to the Kentwood Zoning Committee their proposal for the Kentwood Historic District. It has been edited, it is at the printers. This is the document here, and as soon as it's finished, it will be presented to each member, town council, the mayor. There will be one for the town, and 6 committee members who were on the study committee. And George Hayes can elaborate on that. He'll be the person you'll be discussing it. If you have questions, since he's the one who put it together.
Mr. Hayes.
So, Mr. Harrell's group and committee, by statute, they're charged with taking our report. So the Historic Preservation Study Committee completed their study, submitted a report to his committee. We had a public hearing, and then they are required by the statute to look at the report that we did, edit it, whichever way they feel is appropriate, and then submit it to the council for final approval. We talked about it, Ronnie and I have talked about it. I want to make sure that everyone on the town council has this in plenty of time to study it and understand it. And so the long and short of it is, as soon as we get it back from the printer, which will be sometime next week, we'll be sending copies to everyone on the town council. And and I'll prepare a summary that just breaks down what's in the package that we're sending to you. But in addition to that, if anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, I would appreciate it if you would give me a call so that we can talk with. I'll meet you anywhere and any time to try to walk through whatever questions you have, but this is important. Remember, we have to establish the historic preservation district before we can get certified local government status, which is before we can get Main Street community designation. So we're there. We think that we have a good proposal for you. We think that we have a good district that's outlined and a proposed ordinance. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. So that I appreciate you giving me a couple of minutes to just tell you that it's coming, and we didn't rush it to the board. We want to have everybody have plenty of time to look at it and study it and ask questions and maybe talk with your constituents, whatever you want to do, because it is my fervent desire to bring it before the town council for the November meeting for adoption. Thank you.
I think I do have a map here. Would that be from the railroad track down to the Methodist Church and between Avenue E and Avenue G?
Avenue F.
No, I mean north and south. It would of course
E
include.
and G and up to the Kentwood Methodist Church.
So it is that. Okay, good. All
Yeah,
right.
you just outlined
It's outlined. When you get the document, you'll see it. It's very clearly documented and so on and so forth.
Mr. Rush, you have any updates for us on anything?
No, we're just, we're working on a lot of leaks with the weather changing cool. A lot of water leaks, so we've been doing that. The boom cutter is down at the present time. So, as far as bush hogging, that's got us limited to cutting ditches and stuff like that. But other than that, that's about it on mine.
And thank you for getting that taken care of on MLK.
We got one more to go and we'll have it done.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mayor. And again, Mr. Rush, we thank you, and also the part, all that you all do to keep this town moving. So thank you for the work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The City Hall will be closed on October 10th in observance of Columbus Day, and we will post our Halloween hours on Facebook, and we are already live, so we'll get that out to the citizens.
I'll share whatever post y'all have.
Oh, the services for my mother, Mabel Bates, tomorrow night, 5 to 7 at Richardson's, and a meet is a viewing, and then at 11 o'clock Saturday at Temple Chapel. Okay. Nothing else? Meet adjourned.
I'm leaving y'all pencil. I wrote that pencil.
Leave my pencil.
Oh man, I like that one.
Thank you.